I've gone camping my entire life. I'm not the kind of person who scares easily, and I don't believe in monsters or urban legends. At least, I didn't back then. This happened about 8 years ago when I decided to take a solo camping trip in a national park out west. I won't say which one, because even now, I don't want to think about going anywhere near it again. The park was massive. Miles of trees, long dirt roads, and campsites spread so far apart that once night came, it felt like you were completely alone in the world. When I arrived, a park ranger stopped me at the entrance booth. He was tall, way taller than average, and thin in a way that didn't look healthy. His uniform looked normal, but something about him felt off. He stared at me longer than necessary before finally speaking. "Camping alone?" he asked. His voice was low and slow, like he had to think before every word. I nodded and handed him my pass. He leaned closer to my window and said, "If you hear someone calling your name at night, don't answer." I laughed awkwardly, thinking he was trying to scare me. But he didn't smile. "People get lost that way," he added. That should have been my sign to turn around. I drove deep into the park and set up my tent as the sun began to drop behind the trees. Once night fell, the forest changed. The air felt heavier. Every sound echoed farther than it should have. Around midnight, I heard footsteps outside my tent. Slow, careful. I held my breath, listening. Then a voice spoke from just beyond the trees. "Hey, Ranger here. Everything okay?" It sounded wrong. The words were right, but the tone was flat. Almost like someone repeating sounds they'd heard before. I stayed silent. The footsteps moved closer. "Sir," the voice said again, "I need you to come out." My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might give me away. Then it said my name. Perfectly. That's when I remembered what the ranger at the gate told me. I didn't answer. The thing outside my tent circled for nearly an hour, occasionally stopping to whisper my name again and again. Eventually, it walked away, toward the trees. The next morning, I packed up fast and drove straight to the exit. There was a different ranger on duty. I told him what happened. His face went pale. He quietly said, "There hasn't been a ranger stationed at the entrance booth for 3 days." This happened during a camping trip with 2 friends when we were in college. We wanted to get as far away from civilization as possible, so we hiked deep into the woods, far past any marked campsites. No phone signal, no other people, just trees in every direction. The first night was normal. The second night, we started hearing something walking around our camp. At first, we thought it was an animal. But animals don't walk on 2 legs, and they don't stop when you stop breathing. Whatever it was, it stayed just beyond the firelight. Then we heard branches snapping, slow and deliberate, like it wanted us to know it was there. My friend whispered, "Do you see that?" Between the trees, something tall was standing perfectly still. Too tall. Its outline looked human, but its arms were too long, and its head tilted at an unnatural angle. We shined our flashlight at it. It moved backward into the darkness in a way that didn't look like walking. That night, none of us slept. Just before dawn, we heard one of us speaking. My voice. It came from the woods. "I'm over here," it said. But I was still sitting by the fire. Whatever was out there was learning us. We left at sunrise. And as we hiked out, we kept hearing footsteps behind us, but every time we turned around, nothing was there, except the feeling that we were being watched. Even now, years later, I still hear recordings of my own voice in my dreams, calling from the trees. My uncle was an experienced hunter. He knew the forest better than anyone I've ever met. One fall, he invited me to join him on a week-long camping trip deep in the forest. On the 3rd night, he woke me up and told me something was wrong. "The forest is too quiet," he whispered. "No insects, no wind, no distant animals, just silence." Then we heard breathing, not ours. It was coming from the darkness beyond the campfire, slow and heavy. Something massive stepped into the edge of the light. It didn't have eyes, at least not where eyes should be. My uncle raised his rifle, hands shaking. The thing took one step closer, and the fire went out. We ran. We didn't stop until sunrise. When we reached the road, my uncle collapsed. He never spoke about what we saw again. A year later, he went back alone. They found his campsite. They found his rifle. They never found him. And every year since, hunters report seeing a man standing between the trees at night, watching them leave.